the plot is so intricately woven together. How much was really planned from the get-go, and how much did you kind of put together as you went along, like the numbers?
Did you do that website? Not you. When we were writing, when we finished writing the pilot, and then we were in prep, which was a pretty short prep for the show, and then in production, Damon and a couple of the other writers oversaw the writing of a Bible for the series, which was essentially, sort of a mini book of like what stories we'd want to tell over time. When you're doing the pilot at the beginning, you're scrambling to make sense of it yourself in a weird way, and it's a weird sort of issue of like telepathy, where you're just trusting that the ideas that you have and places that you believe they could go, that they are worth something. And so you commit to them partially because you have to and partially because you love them. And some things like, Hurley having won the lottery and the numbers being cursed and being part of it, and the idea that the island was ultimately a place where they came from. And those were things that came up early on in the season, but ultimately came out of other ideas kind of as a bridge between things we knew we wanted to do. So I would be, an absolute liar if I said every single thing is planned from the beginning. It's like, you're scrambling always to sort of make the thing work the best you can. But you're also, going to be dead in the water if you start telling a story and don't have a sense of where it's going. So, and I've said this before, about other stuff, and, admittedly, it works better sometimes than others, but it's kind of like hiking in the fog. You know where you're going, you see it, and you're hiking, and you're going, getting higher and higher in the mountain, and the closer you get, the sort of clearer, the landscape becomes, and you suddenly realize that there are, routes you're going to take that you never anticipated, and you realize, oh wait, the summit's over there. I thought that was the... So you kind of like have to trust it, and it becomes this really interesting, organic sort of dialogue, because you're also watching dailies. It's not, you can't sort of do it in this kind of hermetic, in this vacuum where you're working, and then you put it out there and it gets done. And you have to watch what you're doing, and these are actors who bring such depth to what they do, and I don't want to be self-important about it, but, it's true. And you see relationships, and you see stories, and they tell you what the show is. So it's this very bizarre, organic thing that requires a lot of planning, as much as you can possibly do, and then more than that, trust.